yielding. Now I would recognize myself for 5 minutes of questioning. More than a year ago, Hurricane Helene, with over 100-mile-per-hour winds, ran through the entire stretch of my district and caused widespread damage and loss. We suffered multiple deaths and a loss of power for weeks in some areas. I remember the first press conference that we held in the district. There was nobody had power, nobody had communications, and people asked, where do we get shelter? Where do we get water? Where can we get food? And our disaster director said, just go to our website, and it'll tell you everything. We had no communications. And I realized then that we need desperately do something about this. I do want to thank several groups that came together, obviously the generosity of Starlink, that pretty quickly got at least our disaster centers up, Georgia Power with Southern Link, at least so we could communicate and start the cleanup and get power back on. But their communications with Southern Link was critical. And then the efforts of our cell services putting in temporary facilities and generators to at least give some limited cell service. But we all learned the importance of resilient communication networks when commercial networks were severely disrupted. It was next to impossible for constituents to access information and resources during approximately 10 to 12 days. I want to thank Chairman Hudson for holding this important hearing today, and to our expert witnesses, and I want to thank you for joining us. Mr. Gers, from a cost-benefit perspective, how does investment in wireless emergency alerts compare to other public safety communication tools?
Mr. Vice Chairman, thank you for the question, and thank you. Your experience in Hurricane Helene was, I'm sure, challenging, but I can say that our networks are stronger than they were before because we've spent billions of dollars deploying cell sites with overlapping coverage and capabilities. Every communication in a disaster situation is important, whether it's a 911 communication or a wireless emergency alert. We want to make sure that service is there. And so, we invest in both equal, at equal efforts, making sure that our networks are available to get the emergency alerts out so people can know what to do in an emergency. And we invest in solutions to make sure that the 911 capabilities are what consumers would expect. They can text, they can call, and they take advantage of the commercial solutions that we use every day.
To follow up, if we want to have wireless emergency alerts delivered everywhere, we need coverage everywhere. Isn't that a good reason why Congress should improve the permitting process so that providers can more easily extend their coverage?
Mr. Vice Chairman, absolutely. We appreciate this committee's leadership on that issue of making sure that we can deploy wireless services, wireless infrastructure in more places, right? We've deployed 450,000 cell sites with overlapping coverage so that if some cell sites go out, we still try to maintain services. You noted that we also have temporary capabilities. We call it the barnyard, the cows, the goats, the goats, the flying cows we can bring in. But overall, if we can reduce red tape and be able to get more infrastructure out into more places, we're going to have more resilient networks.
Thank you. Captain, do first responders have the communication tools necessary to do their jobs effectively?
In some instances, yes, we do. In many, we do not. We need a new reimagining of next generation 911 and the communications possibilities that can bring to us.
As far as, and this is for any of the witnesses, I got about 42 seconds. What improvements can be made to the public safety communications ecosystem? Would anybody like to offer a suggestion? Yes, Ms. Manor.
Thank you very much, and thank you for the question. I think that's where space comes in and satellite, and you saw it yourself when you were talking about the recent example with Starlink, like Starlink AST Space Mobile. Actually will be providing broadband, and that will give first responders the ability when the networks are down to communicate, but also for users across the country to reach emergency services like 911.
Great.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Again, thank you to the witnesses, and with that, I'm out of time. I will yield back and call on Representative Soto for his 5 minutes of questioning.